So let's jump over into Dr. Vickers' slides and see if I can explain this to you. These are some slides that I captured. They're screenshots that I captured from his video, so I can give you the overview of this real quick. In John 1:1, this is his response to the Jehovah's Witnesses. Here's what he says. He quotes the verse, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God," according to the NIV version. That's similar to every traditional Christian, standard Christian Bible that we read. But then he says, here's what it looks like in the Jehovah's Witnesses Bible. John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was a God," right? So New World Translation. Then he just shows us the Greek, in ἀρχῇ, in halagos, kai halagos, ein pros ton theon, kai theos, ein halagos. And then he lets us know that from a grammar rule perspective, and these are some of the rules that are going to help us get technical and translate it the way we want to. In Greek, there are 5 different types of cases when we talk about nominatives or nouns. Let me just jump to this slide for a split second. These aren't in the order I wanted to, but so when we're talking about regular nouns in the Greek, you can see that we've got nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and vocative. These are just different ways to explain how the grammar of a noun is playing a role in any particular sentence. And in Greek, the ending of the noun, the letters that you're seeing on the screen here, indicate to the grammarian what type of case and what role it's playing in the sentence. Nominative, meaning the subject of a noun, the ending in the os. Genitive, ending in the ou. Dative, ending in the o. Accusative, ending in the on. And then the vocative, ending, which is very rare, ending in the eta there, the e. So we can see the letters tell us which type of case this noun falls into. So when we go back over to Dr. Vickers' slide, we can see that the subject noun in the first logos is indicated by the Greek letters os at the very end, the omicron and the sigma there. So kai halagos, this is the subject noun. That's all he's trying to let us know. But when we compare that to the other noun in the sentence, which is God, we can see that it is now an object noun. Subject noun and the object noun, or nominative and what was the other kind I said? Either, let's say, accusative. So we got nominative and accusative, or object noun. And we can see this by the Greek endings. Halagos is the subject noun, and ton theon is the object noun. Very easy, very basic Greek grammar. These are some of the Greek grammar rules that give us the clues as to how to translate this passage. Moving on very quickly, Dr. Vickers alerts us to the fact that if, for instance, the object noun did not have a definite article, it would still be the object noun, even without the definite article. It's because of the ending, right? It's that case ending. It's that on as opposed to the os, which tells us, even with or without the definite article, in the Greek, we can identify which is the subject and which is the object, so we can know which is the correct syntax, the word order in which to put it. So the second clause, which has, "and the Word was with God," if we were to assume that it is with a God, I know there are no translations that do this, but just follow along with this logic for a moment. Let's suppose John left out the article, and the Word was with a God, like he does in the third clause, and the Word was with a God. We would still know which is the subject and which is the object, just because of the ending of the Greek, the case endings, right? The on versus the os, or whatever we have. So that's what Dr. Vickers is trying to alert us to. Fortunately, John doesn't leave out the article. So that's the next slide. And then he moves on to let us know that we can now compare the subject noun and object noun to the third clause, right? We can see instantly that logos and theos have the same case ending, which means that they're both nominatives. And this brings up an interesting choice for the translators. We suddenly have 2 subject nouns in one sentence, and theos ein halagos, kai theos ein halagos, and a subject noun was a subject noun. Typically, normal sentences have subject noun and object noun, or subject noun and dative, or subject and genitive, or something like that, or vocative. But suddenly now we have subject and subject. So what do the translators do? Which one becomes a subject and which one becomes an object? That's the discussion that's on the table at the moment. What did the Greek writers do? Well, what they did is they went back to the Greek grammar rule that lets us know that if the sentence contains 2 subject nouns, right, 2 os ending words, logos, theos, then we can borrow the grammar rule that talks about if there is a article in front of one of those subject nouns, then the one with the article becomes the subject. And so we can see that in the previous sentence, ton theon already did have, even though it was an object, it had a subject, it had an article in front of it. And the subject noun logos also had the article in front of it. There are two different types of articles, two different cases, but they have to match the case of the noun that they are attached to. So ha logos and ton theon both have articles. Subject noun, but they both have articles. But the third sentence, the third clause, kai theos and halogos, there are two subject nouns, but only one of them has an article. And so borrowing that grammar rule, we can suddenly see, and again he's highlighting this using the circles, that theos and logos both have the same case ending, right? Go back to this little chart. They're both nominative cases. And if I were to go over this little tool at Bible Hub, we could see this if you look at here, NMS, nominative masculine, so it's nominative, and logos, also nominative masculine singular, so the NMS, same case ending. But Dr. Vickers alerts us to the fact that we have two subject nouns, but only one of them has an article. What do we do with that? Well then, in a case like that, we have two articles, we have to look, two subject nouns, we have to look at which one has the article, the definite article in front of it, and in this case, only logos has it, which then tells us, there's a grammar rule, you ready for it? The nominative predicate drops the article, but it retains it when it is spoken. So the nominative subject keeps the article. Whichever of these two subject nouns has the definite article, that's the one that becomes the true subject of the sentence. And since logos, the one at the end in the Greek, has the ha, that tells us that that is the one that is subject. And this puts theos into a role of being a predicate, or it's becoming the object of the sentence. Thus our translation, and the word was God, as opposed to God was the word, because literally theos is in front in the sentence. Theos ein halogos, God shows up first, but we have to swap it around. So look at the Greek rule. The nominative subject keeps the article, so logos becomes the nominative subject.